Okay, greetings everybody, and welcome to the Brew Robotics Club. This is the November meeting of 2012. This is the last meeting of this calendar year. We do not have a meeting in December because nobody would show up anyhow between Christmas and New Year's. My name is Wayne Bramlett, and I am the president of the club. How many people is this their first time here? Okay, excellent. Probably the most important thing is where do they hide the bathrooms here? See that door everybody's walking through right now? That's where the bathrooms are, okay? The agenda for the meeting is we're going to do some club business first. This is the November meeting. This is where we elect officers, so it'll be a little bit longer than normal. Then we do show and tell, where people show their various robots, various states of completion. Then there will be a 5-minute break while I power up my laptop and stuff. And then we'll have a talk. And after the talk, we do what we call random access. We just sort of mill around and talk with one another. And then around 10 o'clock, we have to move out of here. Now, depending upon the weather, some of us will brave the weather out there and continue talking because we kind of like to do that. But the meeting will officially be over at 10. Okay. So we're going to get started with the club-related stuff. This is the November meeting, and it's official in our bylaws that we elect officers. Before we elect officers, we're going to do a little stuff before that, and I'm going to hand it over to our secretary-treasurer, who should be wired up. Not yet.
Test.
You got it.
Okay.
Come on over.
All right. So my name is Osman. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the current secretary and treasurer of the club. There's a few pieces of club business that we need to take care of tonight. So first of all, as treasurer, it's customary to do a summary of the expenses that we had this year. So I'm not going to go over it in a lot of detail, but basically the club started out with $1,180 at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, we ended up at about $590. Almost all of that money was spent on these pieces of equipment that Wayne and I are carrying and sitting over there, the audio equipment, which has actually turned out to work really well. We've been very happy with it. There was a...
Don't forget the banner.
Right. So about $500 was spent on the audio equipment. All the other expenses were pretty minor. We bought a new banner for the club that we used at Maker Faire this year for the first time, and we will use it on future Maker Fairs. And there's also some expenses related to the logo contest that we ran earlier this year for prizes that were awarded to the person who designed the winning logo. So that's the summary, that's the treasurer summary for the year. Okay, so there's some items that we need to vote on related to the club's articles of association. There's 2 items, and then we'll do the officer election, and I'll let Wayne take care of that. So first of all, to vote on the proposals that we're going to talk about, you need to be a club member. And probably a lot of you are thinking, club member? I didn't know I could even sign up to be a club member. Well, for 2012, we have not had an official sign-up process because we have not been collecting dues. In 2011 and previous, there was dues that were $10 per year. And because of that, we kept a membership list in 2011. We did not update the membership list in 2012 because we were not collecting dues. So unfortunately, if you join the club in 2012, you will not be on the official membership list, which I have right here. If you have paid, so the way we're going to figure out if you're a member or not, if you have paid dues at any time in the past 3 years, you are a member. And I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to just trust you that you have or have not paid dues. If you're not sure and you want to make sure, you can ask me and I'll pass around this list. But if you pay dues, you can vote. So there's two things that we need to vote on related to the club's Articles of Association. And this document was signed and ratified by the club president and secretary in, I think it was March of 2010, and then it was amended again last year. So the proposal to be voted on tonight is so what happened to the previous document is that it was misplaced. The signed version was misplaced. Nobody knows where it is. We don't know exactly how it was misplaced, but what we would like to do is, I have made a new version of the document, updated it to match the original as closely as I could. We will re-sign it and keep this on file somewhere safe so that it does not get lost again. So the proposal to be voted on is to accept a newly signed version of the document as a replacement for the original. So if you're a club member, you can vote for this proposal, in which case we will accept the new document. A vote against would mean that the club is in big trouble. So we'll do this just by a show of hands. All those who are members who are voting for the proposal, please raise your hand. All those against, please raise your hand. The proposal has passed. So Wayne and I will sign this document and it will be kept safely by me.
Here, Wayne. Go to Kinko's.
All right, so the second proposal to be voted on today relates to a section that's in the current articles. Right now, the articles are pretty clear that if you don't pay your dues by the second meeting of the year, in a year which there are dues, you become delinquent. However, the articles is not clear about what happens to delinquent members. There's apparently no repercussions for becoming a delinquent member. So what we'd like to do is add a paragraph that specifically states if you have not paid your dues by the third meeting of the year, then your membership is terminated. You can then reapply to become a member if you're not banned for life, but that would prevent you from voting and potentially loss of use of other club property like the turtle bod and that kind of thing. So the proposal to be voted on is to add a paragraph that states that if you have not paid your dues by the third meeting of the year, your membership will be terminated and you'll need to reapply. So again, for those of you who are members, a vote for this proposal will add the paragraph. So all of those in favor of adding this proposal, please raise your hand. All those against? I will make a note of that since it was not unanimous. We had 12 for and 3 against. The proposal did pass, and I will make a note of the vote count in the minutes of the meeting. So the other thing to be voted on today is officers, and I will turn that back over to Wayne.
Okay, as usual, we struggle to find people who are even willing to be officers in the club. It's like most clubs have this problem until they get above a certain size. At the moment, there's only one person running for each office, okay? So I'll go through the offices and tell who it is. For president, I am running again. Okay, for secretary treasurer, Osmond is running again. For webmaster, Mike Cipriano, raise your hand, Mike. Michael Cipriano, he's running again. For sergeant at arms, it would be Brian Hickman, raising his hand over there. Okay, and our outgoing program chair is Rose Cipriano. Please raise your hand. Okay, and Alan Fetterman, whom I've seen, but I'm not picking out right now. There he is. Has agreed to run for that. But given that the offices are being basically uncontested, I view this as mostly a pro forma vote. So if anybody has any objections, we vote for the entire officer slate at once, then please raise your hand now. No, Ted. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to vote, have one show of hands if you're a member to accept the new slate of officers, and if not, we'll raise your hand. So all in favor of accepting the new slate of officers, please raise your hand. And all against, please raise your hand. So it was basically unanimous, so we'll take that as that. So that takes care of the, sort of the legalese type stuff. There's one other topic I want to briefly talk about here, and that has to do with commercial content on our email list. There's two ideas floating around. I'll put them out, and I just want to get a little bit of feedback from people. Nothing's been decided yet, so I want you to understand this is still a discussion kind of thing. One proposal is to have a separate mail list for any commercial kind of stuff. That would, if you want to do a Kickstarter, you want to advertise a product, whatever. So that's a separate mail list. There's another one that got proposed by Bob Smith, which I'm warming up to, but maybe I've got the wrong idea here. That's just to charge people if they want to do an ad on our list. The reasoning behind this is, if you subscribe to Servo or Robot Magazine, the ads are interesting. Okay, they're worth looking at. So, maybe we want to allow it yet. So I'm going to shut up here and just, does anybody have any comments on this concept? And you can either give it here and during this period or after the meeting, tell me what you think. But, we're trying to figure out what to do, because the other option is just saying no to it all. I get a lot of pushback on that. So, yes. Unknown, okay, but clearly members would have higher priority than non-members. Yeah. That's kind of the thought process is, the members would get a discount. Yeah, whatever, or free, whatever. Yeah, exactly. The reason, by the way, this isn't to raise money. This is really, the reason why you charge money is to provide a throttle mechanism. Okay, so if there's too many people advertising, you raise your rates to sort of back it off. That's the concept. Any other quick comments on this? Okay, so if anybody has any feedback, let me know. I'm going to primarily focus on people who show up at club meetings for their feedback, because frankly, we're outnumbered on the mail list by about 12 or 13 to 1, club members versus non-club members. So I really want the club membership to make these kinds of decisions, not the guests on the mail list. Yes? Yes, there would definitely be something on the subject line so people could filter it out. Okay. Okay. With that, are there any more comments on the mail list?